Well, I had a pre-existing primordial ancient days. Before I, there was none. After I, there will be no other. All right, so today, what I want to talk about is, are we suffering from racism, or are we prisoners of war? Is our problems racism, or is it that we're prisoners of wars? Before I jump into anything, I want to first refer you back to this movie. 1998, Denzel Washington, the movie Fallen. Great movie. The theme of the movie is basically a spirit jumping from body to body uh, so it could do whatever it need to do. Okay? There's this one scene in the movie where they're in a room, they got all the scrolls, and they're researching through all the documents to find out what the heck's going on. And then one of them say to the other one, you know, there's an ancient people on this earth that is waiting for the world to end. Of course, this is coming from your Edomite, Canaanite boys out in Hollywood, so this is twisted six ways till Sunday. Again, pay attention. It's going to be a test on this. Okay? It's going to be in the test. There's an ancient people on this earth that is waiting for the world to end. Let me translate. There's an ancient people on this earth who is more ancient than my family. That's why every time I come on, I start it. I ain't had a pre-existing primordial ancient days. Who is more ancient than I? Who is more ancient than my family? There's an ancient people on this earth that is waiting for the world to end. Not so much. Waiting for Babylon's system to end. If you get a chance to watch that movie, watch that movie, watch out for that scene. That part I think is kind of interesting. Now, before I jump into what I really want to talk about today is I'm going to go over a couple of events that's coinciding with the end of our 400 years captivity. All right? On the 21st of every September, the system has, United Nations has a day that they call a day of peace. Okay? On that day, they bring forth a theme which they use only for that year and they never reuse that theme again. The theme for 2017 was peace and security. Of course, everybody who went to Sunday school start to say, just when they say peace and security, here comes a sudden destruction. But let's talk about some of the signs that's happening on Earth here, in the skies, and let's see how that's coinciding with this 400-year prophecy that's pretty much coming to an end. All right, so first we got the 2001 towers. The self inflicted wound for them to bring out the draconian laws, yes, but it was all done with a bigger purpose. All right, the 2012, all the 2012 prophecy of the closing of one age to another age. 2013 ISON. That comet, when it came through, it looked so beautiful because it literally shaped like a DNA. 2014, 2015, the four super blood moon quadrant. And I shall make the moon turn blood, and the moon shall turn into blood. 2016, NASA finally says we're in the age of Aquarius. All of this is important. Now, is it just that we're in the age of Aquarius because NASA says? No, because I did some calculation a couple of years ago that says, we're coming into the age of Aquarius since around 1865. But anyhow, 2017 and 2024 eclipse marking an X over Babylon, Xing out Babylon completely. September 23rd, 2017, the signs in the heavens. Revelation 12, signs in the heavens. Virgo giving birth to a child. Virgo giving birth to a child. What kind of crap is that? Virgo giving birth to a child. What does that mean? The virgin giving birth to a child. A child being born? A nation is being born. The rebirth of the oldest nation on the face of this earth. All right? Now, following that Revelation 12 sign is another sign right underneath it. Revelation 12:2 and Revelation 12:3 is followed by the red dragon that's pursuing the child. A red dragon pursuing the child. Yeah, freaking Edomite, red Edomite dragon pursuing the child with 7 heads, G7, 10 horns, the 10 European nation, the 10 nations with G7 with the 10 horns. Could it be the 10 European nations? Could it be the 10 nations that originally signed on to NATO? Okay? The Edomite, Amorite, and the rest of their Canaanite coalition. It is so funny because in 1986 when I came here, you know, a little guy from the third world, I'm looking at these white people like they're something and they're better than me and they're all that. There's no white race. There's just a fucking Canaanite race. These are the cursed serpent seed race from the ancient times. These people are so wicked and crooked, they have to change their entire identity to survive until this time. While they're doing that, they're going to change your identity too. Because if you know your true identity, they can't carry on this farce that they're carrying on. You know? But anyhow, the child is actually the rebirth of the nation. And the red Edom dragon, Esau, and his Canaanite coalition, they're pursuing us for good reason. The birth of my nation is the end of them. My kingdom reigns forever. So the thing said. Now, I know some of us have this silly Negro tendency and we believe that we can't ever figure out or accomplish anything. So we impose, we push out that projection, we project that onto our brothers and sisters because we're slave minded. So when our brothers and sisters come to us and say, hey, you know, say one, I want to, we look at our brothers and sisters like, man, you're an idiot. Because if it was so, my slave master would have told me. But I'm going to refer you back to your own slave master with this documentation. Now, go to wwf.congress.com or just jump into your Google, into your Google search engine and plug in HR House Resolution 1242-115-105. I guess the 115 is the 115th Congress and the 105 is the act that they're bringing forth. But anyhow, this speaks about the 400 years of African American contribution to the United States. Let me translate that for you boys and girls. 400 years of slavery. This bill was introduced February 28, 2017. Last action taken is May 2nd, 2017. Babylon is always ahead. Babylon is always projecting ahead, knowing how to control how every event is being perceived. Look at how they have this one captioned. Speaks about the 400 years of contribution of African American to the United States. They want to control the perception of how this is going on. All right? So a couple of years ago, when it came back to my recollection that, wow, August 20th, 1619 plus 400 years, we're looking at August 20th, 2019. And at face value, I ran with that for a little bit. And then I saw this video, this one guy, and he brought forth a new element. And when he did, whatever he said was absolutely true, because the book of Enoch told me that a season is 91 days and a year is always 364 days. I know. Babylon told you that a year is 365 days, and every 4 year we're going to make it 366 and call it a leap year. Right? So now I start to do some of the corrections now, because I'm thinking that, what's this, December? I'm thinking that we're at 398 years and some months. But when I start to make the correction from the Babylonian time to the real calendar, and any Bible student that's been in the classroom for more than 5 minutes is going to say, "Yeah, I know. Daniel said this guy's going to come and change laws and times." All right. So now, 400 years from August 20th, 1916. If you make the correction for the days, the 365 to the corrected 364 days, you're looking at 398 days so far. If you make the correction for every 4 year, they're throwing another day on it, calling it a leap year, you're looking at another 99.2 days. Yeah? So if you add those two numbers up, we get 497.2. 497, but a year is 364. So we're going to take 364 away from that and not call it 398 anymore, because it's now 399 years with 133 days left over. 133 days is actually 4 months and 13 days. So if you start counting backwards at August 20th, 1619, 133 days, 4 months and 13 days, you're going to land on April 7th, 2018. So the 400 years of affliction is coming to an end April 7th, 2018. Now, with around less than 4 months to go, because right now we're at, I think, December 15th, 2017, what do you expect to be happening in current events? Don't even mention the increase of the storms and the increase of intensities, of course, symbolizing the birth of something, a child or a nation. Symbolizes the birth, the rebirth of my nation. All right. I think Babylon had a movie out a few years ago for the second version. The first version came out in 1934 or something like that, called The Birth of a Nation. They're expecting this thing here. All right. All the nations, nations against nations, ethnos against ethnos, race war. So we got the North Korea, Syria, Yemen, Palestine, Libya, Iraq, Somalia, Congo, Burundi, Sudan. Yeah. The cup of the Amorite is full. The cup of the wicked is now full. Now remember, in the end of 1999, I think it started around 1997 going into 1999, incoming with the new neocons, the fake Jew neocons with Bush, came out this book that they put out, Rumsfeld and Trump and all that, the New American Century, and they talk about 7 nations that they're going to invade, collapse, destroy. I think General Wesley Clark, or whatever the guy's name is, He was one of the big guy who exposed a lot of that. I see him come out in a lot of the videos. But a lot of these nations are Iraq, yeah, done, check. Libya, yeah, done, check. Syria, well, they failed miserably there. Somalia, the U.S. is there. Sudan, Somalia, Iran, they're really trying to get to that. But this is all backfiring on them. All these nations are among the nations that the Most High is saying in the Bible that are going to gather up to fight this beast, of course, backed by their Russian, Russo Chinese coalition. This is absolutely no coincidence that they choose to attack these nations. But anyhow, does anyone like Iceland? Yeah, the sweet stuff on top of the damn cake. Does anyone like Iceland? Because here's the damn icing on the cake. This crypto Jew, and I say crypto Jew, pay attention, boys and girls. This crypto Jew, Trump, arrogantly spit in the face of the entire world, completely undermining their Edomite, Canaanite coalition to screw the world and keep it under wraps. This guy is going down as the last Roman emperor. This guy is going down as the last Roman emperor. Being caught up between these two eclipses of 2017 and 2014, 2024, dude is going down as the last Roman emperor. Now, I browse across, the Spirit of the Most High bring me to browse across the last emperor of the Persian Empire. Now, when it spoke of this guy, it says this guy was a filthy rich guy. And he obviously went pissing off everyone around him. Trump is dude. Trump is the next. Trump is the last Roman emperor. Okay? Now here's what I really want to talk about today. Are we suffering from racism, or are we prisoners of war? In order for me to take this out of the realm of opinion and put this in the arena of facts, where it rightfully belongs, we're going to need to take a couple of witnesses. I'm going to get a couple of precepts so I can solidify this thing under my feet. Okay, even before I attempt to insert my own opinion. The first precept is coming from the book of Jasher. Speaks of the first world leader, Nimrod. Nimrod, son of Cush. Man started off righteous, making sacrifice to the Most High. I think his first transgression was when he transgressed the boundaries that Noah, that Jah set up for all of his three sons, because he left Nubia and he went all out to like Iraq, Iran, Afghan area, and started building up a city called, I think it was like five of them: Akkad, Babylon. I don't really remember. It's not all that important right now, but pay attention, pay attention. We're going somewhere. Okay? So, for him to do that, what had to happen? In my belief, now, dude was wearing a coat that God made for Adam. So not only he was powerful because he was righteous, that's why the scripture called him mighty man. He'd go out there and he conquered the local tribes that was there to build this city. Follow me, we going somewhere. Okay? In addition to conquering the local tribes that's there, for him to really build an empire, he also have to conquer the surrounding kings. He got to quell the surrounding kings. Let them know that, yo, Mighty Man is running this stuff right now. Mighty Man up on the spot. Okay? So what do you think happened when Jah caused Esau to sneak attack Nimrod while he was walking and hunting with just, two of his friends. What do you think happened to his cities that he built? What was the consequence of that? Well, let me help you out. The cities that he built, they fell. The people that he had, the people that he had quelled, subdued, conquered there, they uprised. They took back the city. Um, the surrounding kings, they actually come now and conquer the city and took Nimrod's people as slaves. Then the following history that's coming to the rise of the new city tells you about this is a new city now. These new Babylon now is being built and run by the Canaanite, Amorites, Esau and them. But pay attention. A precedent is set. Okay? The rules governing conquest has never changed since the beginning of times. Before we became slaves, during our slavery, and will be after. It never changed. Okay? The next witness precepts that I'm going to get before I insert my humble opinion is going to be among the nations that Yahshua had to quell, subdue, cut down, cleanse before the children could settle in Israel, settle the land in Israel, was this nation that Joshua, it's not like just said Joshua, yo, them boy they over there, so we have to go kill them. Cause them are some homosexual, pork eating, baby killing and all them things there. Me want you go kill them. Dude left from where he was, came over to Joshua saying, hey, listen, man. Hey, listen, I heard about your strength. I heard about your powers. I heard you guys are really powerful. I'm from a nation far away. I just came here because I want to make peace with you. Joshua probably say, okay, I got no beef with you. I got no problem with you, my youth. So he make the deal with him and sign a peace treaty with him. All right. 2-2s. 2 days later, Joshua find out that this guy ain't from no faraway nation. He's probably trying to set me up for a double cross. This guy's from a couple of nations over there. All right. So he call up my man there and say, no, yo, what have you done such a thing to me? Telling me that you're from some faraway nation and you're coming to make peace with me. Dude says, well, I was scared and yeah, I almost visit my shorts when I heard about your powers. So I lied. Guess what? The document says Joshua didn't kill them. He took them as hewers of logs and drawers of water. He took them as slaves. All right? I don't really believe what we're suffering from is racism. Racism is just me not liking you. I'm going to do whatever I am going to do to stop you from getting a job and feeding your family and doing all that good stuff. This is 10 times deeper than that. All right. So in connecting this, I'm going to jump to the Apocrypha in the book of Esdras, where the Rastaman Esdras said to Jah, oh Jah, you tell me so you make the world for your children Israel. You tell me so you make the world for we. However, here we are, being oppressed by these wicked people. When shall it end, oh Jah? When shall it end? And Jah said, all right. The end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob. For the beginning of a man is his hand, and the end of a man is his foot. If we remember back in Sunday school, Esau came out first and Jacob came out holding on to the foot. Pretty soon, when Esau kingdom fought, which it is right now, it's got a couple of months shelf life, a couple of years shelf life on it, and it's done. They're going to get that crush in the head like what was promised to them in Genesis 3:15. But anyhow, it says, The end of Esau is the beginning of Jacob. Now pay attention. I'm going to go way back before I hone this in. Now, notice, Nubia pretty much was the world power from the first son that had a world power, I should say. And they were until they were invaded by Sidonian, Hittite, Kazites. These are actually another funky name for the Esau Canaanite coalition, which your history book actually called the Asiatic invasion of Africa, aka the Hyksos. Because and the document come back until I say because the Pharaoh that knew Joseph was no longer there. A new Pharaoh come about. Now think about it. The Nubian pharaohs, what we keep thinking is Jerusalem is somewhere else than Egypt. They're both in the same continent. Both Jerusalem and Egypt is in the continent of Africa. All right? So when Jacob them Esau, I mean Joseph had no problem uh, being received in Egypt. That was his cousins, his Nubian cousins. That's running that. No bad blood has never been. The sons of Ham never slaved the sons of Shem. Forget what you heard, and now I'm going to explain to you why. Okay? Yes, the sons of Israel was in the land of Ham, but they were not oppressed by Ham's children. So the Nubian pharaohs ran Egypt, ran Upper Nubia, which they call Lower Nubia, which they call Egypt, until they were invaded by the Hyksos coalition made of Canaanite Esau. So when when they came to power, they were the power that was against not only the children of Israel, but also the inhabitants of lower Kemet as well. All right, which actually tell you in the book of Jasher that they were there for 400 years, but they were enslaved for 210 years. That's because the Hyksos only ruled for 228 years before they were kicked out by Kamosi and Hamosi. Okay, so these were the leprosy strangers that came in and fought the inhabitants of Egypt, of Nubia, lower Nubia, Kemet, took over the lands for a while and enslaved both those people and the children of Israel. What our problem is that we've lost our collective memory. We don't even know who our enemies are anymore. I see some of these silly Negroes go into these mingled people, Revelation call them. Multiracial church mingled people. I'm sitting over here, and there is sister devil over here, and there's brother devil over here, and we're all one big devil family. But that's not what Jah said. Jah didn't say I'm going to send you amongst a nation of your friends. No. Jah said I'm going to send you amongst a nation of your enemies, and you shall be afflicted for 400 years. You people are silly Negroes. You need to wake up, live your life so the younger generation can respect you. Yeah. You know what I say? Completely ridiculous. Zero is my tolerance for these people nowadays. Just completely zero. Anyhow, I'm going back far enough to connect that the same sets of people that invaded Kemet, that has been on the relief showing you these leprosy people with these all kind of weird looking hair, orange, pink, purple, all kind of weird looking hair, which is what the Bible tell you. When the skin change from brown to white, they're to be claimed clean, but they're a clean leper. The hair is changing to orange, the eyes is changing to blue. It's a fucking mutant. Okay? When I came here, I was like this little kid, and I'm looking at these. Oh, the white race. There's no white race. There's a Canaanite race. These are the serpent seeds. But I'm the madman, right? All right. I'm gonna go back far enough. I cover Kemet. I cover Kemet. When you go back in the documents about who is running the Neo-Babylon Empire, this is the Amorites. When you go back to who is running the all of the Babylon, Persian, of course, the Javians, which are the Greeks, without a doubt, this is Esau and Kittim. You don't even have to research far. Without a doubt, Rome, Esau, and Kittim, uh, and their Canaanite coalition, without fail. But now, if you look at the whole history thing now, while they had a couple of thousand years to rule the earth, because your document told you the world is in the hands of the wicked ones. The Punic War is going back to 260 something, 250 something BCE, where the Moors in North Africa were fighting them on their own time to rule. All the way up until 1491, in a sense, you know. Well, I'm not gonna be dogmatic and speak on a religious term. The Moors was like the only thing that was stopping the barbarians to a good 80% into their rule, because within the time of the Gentiles, the Moors was ruling over the Gentiles. Okay? Now, if you think about what happened real quick, 1491, the Moors fell. 1491, the Moors fell. Real quick, real quick. If your enemy fall, you got to attack him. 1492 is the invasion. That's how it works. Now, the Moors, who used to be their master, sold out the Israelites, led them to West Africa, where we were collected, running from the Shanghai, the Mali Shanghai dynasty down more into Ghana, running from the Mali Shanghai dynasty, running to the Mali Shanghai dynasty from Jerusalem. Read about this good stuff all in the book of From Babylon to Timbuktu. Brothers and sisters, our condition is not racism. Our problem is, well, a lot. We got a lot of problems. Our main problem is our ancestors dissed the Most High. One, refused to live in his laws and went, trying to be all the other nations. If you look at your brothers and sisters today, that's not hard to comprehend. Oh my God. Dear Father, help me. It's pitiful. It's pitiful. So that was our big slap in his face. So, as he says, I'm going to turn you over to your enemies so they could kick your butt for 400 years. And while they're kicking your butt, then you're going to be crying out for me. And for the first part of it, I'm not even going to listen to you. Now, when I read this, I felt some kind of way. Because as much as we can't physically see Father except for through our brothers and sisters as he manifests in them, I am reading this and I'm almost imagining this spiritual figure crying for his children. Because at one part he says, you know what? Yeah. Oh, okay. Y'all want to be like that? I'm going to send you out. I'm going to send your enemies upon you, and they're going to afflict you, and you're going to cry out for me, and I'm going to close my ears. Why? Because when I was crying for you, you closed your ears. Wow, when I read that part, it was like there's something unsettling about that. To think that the Most High was actually crying for his children and be like, no, man, I don't want you guys to go down here. I don't want you guys to do that. You don't like the end result of this road. But anyhow, he says, and for the first part of it, I'm not even going to listen to your cry. But at the end, when your 400 years of slavery and affliction is over, then of course he's going to hear our cry and fulfill his word by pulling us up out of the slavery. Probably not too much because we're all that righteous. We're about as polluted as ever. We are about as polluted as ever. Probably for his name's sake. Probably for the covenant that he made with our ancestors. Okay? So, no, I do not think the conditions that we are surrounded with has nothing to do with racism. And I'm going to be honest, with less than 4 months to go for the 400 years to be over, that's a reality that I could live with. That's a reality that I could live with. Now, when they go back and tell you how this stuff was formulated in Psalms 2 and in Psalms 83, when it told you about all the nations who conspired against me, conspired against I people. I'm not going to really go into Psalms 83 and Psalms 2, but if you get a chance, check it out because it spells it out. Psalms 83 even going and expand upon what Psalms 2 say. When Psalms 2 say, why do the then rage and the people imagine the vain things? False kings have set themselves as counsel, as taking counsel against the Most High and against the Anointed One, saying, come, let us tear their bonds apart. When you go in Psalms 83, I tell you, and they all said, come, let us tear their bonds apart so they could no longer be a family. Come, let us throw their cords off of us. Come, let us throw their cords of rulership off us. Because we rule them. All right? But here's what's amazing. Look how Jah is pulling Russia and China out of their Edomite, Canaanite coalition conspiracy against I. Look how he is pulling them out of their pack, out of their conspiracy. Ezekiel 38 and 39 just said to you, Russia, I will put hooks in your mouth and pull you out of that conspiracy pack that you have against my people. Because the whole world right now is pretty much being run by Edomite, Canaanite. Do a little research in the descendants of Canaan, the European nations. You are going to be blown away. You are going to be blown away. I'm looking for this printout list, but I can't find it. But I wrote it down though. Now I was telling you Sidon, Lebanese, Sicilian, Italy, South Italy, the Sidonians. The sons of Heth are Japanese and Chinese. The Jebus, of course. And where you hear Jebus and Jebusite, you know that these are the fake Jews mixed with Edom. Okay, Amor, the Aryan. These are the blonde hair and the blue eyes one. Freaking Amorites. The Gargashites, the French and American. I'm not too sure about the American right here because I'm thinking American is an extract from out of Europe. But anyhow, the Hivites. I'm seeing here how they're trying to label everyone with Let me finish reading this. Hivites, European, that I guess that's more like Eastern European, Mongolia, Korean, Mongolia, Horite, Ark, British, Australia, Irish, American, it says again. Yes, British and American is the same thing. The Arkite, the Sin, the Dutch, Germany. It says African here, but I can understand why it would. North European, these are the Sinites. The Arvites are the Italians. The Zimars, the Scottish. Now, one of Canaanite's son was called Hamath. There's some dark Indians that over in India that are from the seed of Canaan as well. That's where when you go through all the documents, it's bringing you to this Indo-Aryan group. When you go in these Aryan website, the connection is there eternally. And even them is admitting that, yeah, we are the Canaanites. As a matter of fact, like what Biggie Smalls said, kicking the door around waving the 4-4. The Jehovah's Witness magazine came out with that fact a few years ago saying that we are Canaanites. But of course, they got jumped and bum rushed by the rest of their Canaanite white friends saying, yo, you can't come out and put this out about us. We've been trying to hide this for thousands of years. And they retracted that. Oh my goodness. All right. So Jah put in hook in Russia's mouth. And you have this where Revelation say, and there's tidings between the north and the east. Yeah, between Russia and China. Look how Jah is forming all these ancient alliances. Iran is an ancient empire by itself. Turkey, yes, the Ottoman is an ancient empire by itself. Syria is an ancient empire by itself. And now all of these people coming to say, you know what? We've had some differences for some time now, but come, let's join hands and arms against this beast. Now, here is one of the thing that these people are so filthy and so corrupt from beginning. You know, you can't unspoil the freaking fruit. You can't unring the bell. From beginning, they had to go around changing who is my ancestor, who is their ancestor. Because within all the churches, they'll tell you that Western Europe is Japheth. But the sons of Canaanite, the Canaanite sons, we literally kicked them out from where they were up in the fucking freezer. That was the jail. Up in that freezer was the freaking jail. We literally kicked them out. And if you go on their Aryan website, they'll get into this. They'll say when the black genocides of the ancient Canaanite, we fled all the way up in Northern Europe. This is more like the Western part. Because here is what I'm coming to figure out now. Why they hate Russia so much. Here's why. Now, at this point, all of them been screwing each other. We are the only one that got the law that's saying, don't you dare touch that Canaanite girl. It's going to screw with your bloodline forever. Okay? And doing slavery, boy, do we got the reverse. But anyhow, they're trying, the reason they hate Russia so much is because when you go through the sons of Japheth, Russians are more the sons of Japheth than the Western Europe, which are more the sons of Canaan. And of course, admittedly so, everybody's been in everybody's bed. But the reason why is because Russia has got a more of a Japheth angle in this whole creation than Western Europe, which has more of a Canaanite serpent seed. All right? That's the real deal. This Canaanite serpent seed, of course, the cornerstone of this are the Edom, these fake Jews that's in Jerusalem right now, and worldwide, as a matter of fact. There's Edom, Jebusite, Khazarian, fake Jews. They're also showing up in other places pretending to be freaking Arabs. Over in Saudi Arabia, these are more classified as crypto Jews. Brothers and sisters, run your numbers. Run your numbers. Do your work. Do your homework. Like Billy Joel say, I could be right or I could be crazy. Only way to tell if you run your numbers, because all the information is out there. All right. These Saudi Arabians, these are, remember, Edom also took a daughter of Ishmael. So these are the crypto Jews in Saudi Arabia pretending to be Muslim. The world should be ashamed of themselves if they allow these people to pull this shit over on them. The Rome, the Esau Kidam connection, and the Canaanite nations, this is nothing more than the European nations. The 11 sons of Canaan, the 11 stars of the EU flag. This is all the end of the Gentile age. Nothing more funkier than, listen, this is coinciding with the end of our 400 years slavery of affliction, coinciding with the 2012 prophecies, 2013 Ison, the four blood moons, the eclipse. I mean, we're getting signs back to back to back. The September 23rd sign, the rebirth of our nation. All these things are coming about as these dry bones are coming back alive. Now, I think what the Canaanite, European Esau have to worry about now is that curse that was given to them from the get-go. They're about to realize this, because if I were you, that was used as what that was baited and goaded into cursing and kill the chosen people for the last 400 years, I would be now showing my eternal condemnation, if I were you, to your higher echelons, your fake Jews, who has now put you in this eternal damnation. I would now show my discontent and my disapproval at them, and I'll tell you why. They have put you in such a snag that you're never gonna get back out. Remember, I'm the one that you were supposed to bless. Jackass. You were supposed to kill me and curse me the last 400 years. That's how you're going to catch your blessings. Now you're going to be cursed. Oh, this is way worse. This is way worse. This not even start yet. No, you're going to have to spend eternity, as far as you're concerned, being slaves. That's going to be your hell. You're going to pray for it to be over, but eternity means forever. Revelation says those who are killed by the sword must be killed by the swords. Those who are taken in slaves, those who take in slaves will be taken as slaves. Remember now the rules concerning in Leviticus concerning slavery. If you take some slaves and you're caught with a slave in your hands, you must be put to death. There's no two ways around it. In another part it says, at the ends of your days of affliction you shall now own those who formerly owned you and put them in slavery. You see, if you had given me my reparation from my 400 years of labor, that you had promised me with your forked tongue back in 1865, telling us about each person receiving 40 acres and a mule. At this point, I don't want no damn mule. I want that 40 acres and some farming equipment and then some tractor trailer. All right? But it's okay. If you had given me that 40 acres and a mule, at this point, you wouldn't be looking down the barrels of Joel 3 right now. Because when the Christman catch you in the valley of Jehoshaphat, he says, what did he say? I'm paraphrasing now because I'm not reading it. Read Joel 3 1 through 12 to find out exactly how this thing's going down. But a part of it, paraphrasing, it says something like, yo, what me have to do with you? What me have to do with you? Sometimes I read this and I'm thinking, wow, did the people who write the book Jamaicans, or are we descendants of the people that write the book? He literally said, what have I to do with you? Oh, Tyre and Sidon, these both are places around, these both are places in Lebanon. It says, what have I to do with you? What me have to do with you? You take away all of the vessels them from in my temple. You sold Judah to the ends of the earth so you could get them away from their territory. You sold them to the Javians, to the Grecians. Yeah, the Grecians and the Romans, they're one. They were all a part of this shit. What shall you recompense me where you are going to pay me for your atrocities against I? What shall you recompense me? Because whatever you give me, by the time you wink, me fling it back in your face. Read it. Read it. Of course, I'm paraphrasing and I'm throwing in a lot of my own words, but this is what it says. What shall you recompense me? And if you shall give me something, I shall throw it back in your head. Now am I reload the judgment? No. For what you have done, I shall now sell your sons to Judah. So now you are going to be Judah's slave. You're now going to have to be my slave. According to my dude Isaiah say, Isaiah said, O ye daughters of the Chaldeans, get down in the dirt, uncover your thighs, uncover your locks. No longer shall you be called daughters of delicacy. Yeah, aka, yeah, me have some banana for peel. I have to go peel the banana. Hewers of logs and drawers of water, tile it for clean. Alright? Not only are you going to be slaves to Judah, but some of you guys are going to have to learn how to speak Arabian. Because he says, and Judah will sell some of them to the Sabians. Now, when I did the research on what the Sabians is, I doubt that when Joel made this statement back in the 8th century BCE, he was speaking about a small pocket of people in Iraq, a small pocket in Iran, in Turkey, and in Syria. I have a feeling when he says sell them to the Sabian, he means sell them to the inhabitants of Iraq, Iran, Turkey, and Syria. But that's what it says. All right? Now, when you're out in that sun working and just start raising up the sun 7 times hotter, that's going to be your hell. That's going to be your hell. The leprosy is going to start bursting out. You're going to start cursing the Most High. Every single one of you. Okay? All right? Some of you guys are going to have to learn how to speak Arabic. Yeah. So you don't put yourself in an untenable position. The Most High, yes, when we didn't listen to the laws of the Most High, we baited up ourselves and he used us as bait. He sent us to a nation that would rip us a new one, as he says, would have no patience on your children, nor tolerance for your elders. And while you were committing all that atrocities against us, you didn't know that there was just a time that was going to come when all of your house of cards is going to fall. This is a beautiful time we're living in. I'm sure my ancestors hoped and prayed for years, hundreds of years, for us to make it to this point. All right? So, again, lesson was originally about, are we suffering from racism, or are we prisoners of war? I don't think racism have nothing to do with this, brothers and sisters. Looking at this through the eyes of a historian, we're prisoners of war. And that's it. Listen, that's about it. I didn't really want it to run this far. We're running on 55 minutes already. Listen, if you found this beneficial, share this with your brothers and sisters. Shot it down to contacts in your phone. Repost it. Do your part in waking up your brothers and sisters. Hail the Most High.